u/Elon's__distraction asked Reddit, what celebrity do you think is evil in their soul? This is the placeholder intro file. Can be easily swapped. Lost Prophets singer Ian Watkins. One of the worst stories. Michelle Duggar, her son Josh, and her husband Jim Bob. Any celebrity that took Jeffrey Epstein's Lolita Express. Harvey Weinstein. R. Kelly. Joel Osteen. Nancy Grace. Evil, vile human being who has ruined countless lives with her false narratives. Even leading to a suicide. There is nothing redeeming about this woman. Jimmy Savile is disgusting. Everyone in the Sackler family. They created OxyContin and the global opioid epidemic for pure profit, not caring about the nukes they were dropping on families or the lives they destroyed. Their only concern for getting people addicted to Oxy was that it would guarantee repeat sales. Suge Knight. He oozes evil. I'm convinced he's behind Biggie's death. Probably Tupac too. Dan Schneider. I would say Bill Cosby. Dr. Phil. Chris Brown. Tom Cruise gives me an uneasy feeling. I don't know if evil is the appropriate word, but I think the Kardashian clan are unabashedly terrible people in terms of their ethics and negative impact on society. They have made the world a worse place, undoubtedly, and they don't care. Filthy, shiesty, manipulative family. As the ancient folk wisdom goes, the devil works hard, but Kris Jenner works harder. Jared Leto. Thankfully he's been dead for almost 2 years. But Phil Spector, he produced one of my favorite bands, the Ramones. But man, he was a massive piece of shit. The murderous bastard murdered Lana Clarkson in 2003 in his home. He also threatened to kill Dee Dee Ramone over the production of their 5th album. In his autobiography, Dee Dee Ramone remembers the wildest point of the recording process when Spector pulled out a gun on him. He leveled his gun at my heart and then motioned for me and the rest of the band to get back in the piano room, the bassist wrote. https://faroutmagazine.co.uk/Phil-Spector-tried-to-kill the Ramones. Amp. Steven Seagal. He is very creepy and 100% one of those guys who goes to Shea Asia for sex trafficking and is unusually close and cozy with a lot of dictators and makes a lot of films in foreign countries. Which is probably for money laundering purposes. On top of that, he has numerous allegations of rape and sexual assault. He is most definitely evil. O.J. Simpson. Kalu. Jared Leto is gonna have a soul-crushing tell-all about his sex cult island. Chris Brown. How we haven't cancelled this man yet we've cancelled countless other celebrities is baffling. No solid evidence against him, but James Franco makes me uneasy. Enough women have spoken out about him, and Seth Rogen cutting ties with him doesn't help his case. Ezra Miller. Meta boy Zuckerberg. Bezos. Kenneth Copeland. Andy Dick. Drake, and nobody talks about it. Wendy Williams. If she was the one that was angry that a murdered TikToker had more followers than she did. Kenneth Copeland. Even before his bizarre political campaign, Dr. Oz was a snake oil salesman who preyed on people with body image issues. His show was like a long infomercial about miracle cure diet pills and questionably effective medical advice. Taking advantage of people's insecurities for a quick buck make you a terrible person. I don't care if you went to medical school. This isn't even touching on all the things Oz did during 2020 that definitely got people sick. Andy Dick has done everything from indirectly causing Phil Hartman's death to grooming children. He's been sexually assaulting people both publicly and privately for decades. Yeah, you read that right. Decades. And he hasn't been held accountable for his actions once. Any other celebrity would have been in prison by now if they had done the same shit he has. He only just recently got put on the sex offender registry, and the sad part is knowing he won't learn damn a thing from it. Jada Pinkett Smith. Feels like the public distaste for her died off just like every trend. But what a piece of work she is. Ellen DeGeneres. Oprah. Travis Scott. Something about the way he never looks up makes me uneasy. Not to mention his pushing people to riot at his shows when emergency services are trying to get in. Any Kardashian or Jenner. The Paul brothers. Jared Leto with his cult. I hate Gwyneth Paltrow. Don't think she's evil, but my god, the pretentiousness. Jared Leto. Man gives off the worst vibes ever. And what he does doesn't really help his image either. Roman Polanski. Kris Jenner. Donald Trump. I felt that way in the 80s. My opinion has never changed. Bill Cosby. Ruined. WTF? Exclamation mark. Well, everyone that was okay with knowing what Epstein and Weinstein were doing and did nothing about it. Ellen. Joel Osteen. That guy sends demon wearing human skin vibes. When all is said and done, I'll be shocked if Stephen Miller hasn't murdered someone. Kevin Spacey. I know it's a predictable choice, but Donald Trump is probably the single most morally bankrupt, pathetic, self-serving, mean-spirited, spineless piece of carbon-based garbage alive right now. Evil in their soul is too far. But there's something not right to me about Andy Cohen. I laugh at a lot of his humor and I agree with a lot of his politics. But I feel like it's a mask. Like, something about it feels like there's a layer where he's calculated what he should say over what he actually thinks. And then he goes back to his strange lair and concocts plans to send middle-aged women absolutely nuts with hierarchies and would step on anyone's neck for a career bump. Suge Knight. The guy has always been a murderous thug. And I'm glad they are going to put his ass away for good. Woody Allen. Bleck. James Corden. A person that untalented, unfunny, and fake has to have sacrificed some children to Satan or something. Also, he's the worst. Did I mention that? Gwyneth Paltrow. That bitch knows her products are useless without scientific base and still promotes them. Jared Fogle. Anyone who abuses children is automatically a monster in my opinion, and the way this creep was so calm and calculated with how he planned on abusing so many children is absolutely vile. I can't even eat at Subway without thinking of that disgusting excuse for a human being. I know it wasn't Subway's fault. They didn't know he was a pedophile at the time. But I still can't think of Subway without seeing that disgusting, creepy smile that guy made in the commercials in my head. Literally the human embodiment of shit. Elon Musk. Mariah Carey. I don't care if people think she's the Queen of Christmas. She gives me the worst vibes and I wouldn't be surprised if she has been or is currently involved in some terrible things. Alex Jones. Hitler. The more I learn about that guy, the more I don't care for him. Norm. https u2.be/jh4hmvj5e28. Beyoncé. I don't know what it is, but something is incredibly off-putting hidden behind her being an amazing singer. Tucker Carlson. Jenny from the Block is a piece of work. Jake Paul. Davi Vanity. Dude is an absolute scumbag who physically, verbally, and sexually abused so many underage girls and is still roaming free. He abused his former bandmate. Had his toxic fans bully one of his victims. Not only is the guy a no-talent hack, he is just a monster. Steven Seagal. Armie Hammer. Kevin Spacey. The fact that all of his accusers are dead should have been enough to investigate his sick ass. All the Kardashians, in the fact they very clearly do not have souls. Don't know if they sold him to the devil or what. Seriously, look in their eyes. There's absolutely nothing there. No light, no nothing. It's honestly really creepy. I'm a paramedic and I've pronounced dozens of people dead, many of which I watched die and could see the light leave their eyes. It's a real thing. BTW. Hard to describe, but you can always tell when the person is gone. And all those Kardashians, they really aren't there. There's nothing behind those eyes. Diddy. Francis Ford Coppola kept giving Victor Salva, a convicted child molester, work in Hollywood, so at the very least he allowed evil to continue. Jerry Falwell Jr. Came here to see how many people said Jared Leto. Convicted rapist Brock Allen Turner. Bonus. Alec Baldwin. Yet to pay for killing a coworker on set. Edit. Updated the convicted rapist's middle name, as the convicted rapist is trying to use this to hide from being a convicted rapist. Justin Timberlake. Ever since I know what he did to Britney and Janet, he gives me the ick. I'm really not for publicly hating people or even hating people at all. With this I also don't mean that Justin isn't talented or that he doesn't have any redeeming character traits to him. Those incidents just gave me a feeling he's an opportunist and believes in double standards that play out negatively for the women involved. Don King, the boxing promoter, Mike Tyson said, he did more bad to black fighters than any white promoter ever in the history of boxing. The entire cast of The View. Ryan from Ryan's World. Ann Coulter, either evil or insane, or both. John Travolta edit. Anyone in Scientology. James Corden. Ted Cruz and Greg Abbott. Zuckerberg. Kim K. Can I get some support for Donald Trump? Dude is a narcissistic sociopath who can't take losing. I mean, he's done it so many times before. Bankrupting casinos. How the hell you do that is beyond me. Failed businesses, failed farce of a presidency, and got impeached 2x. And not forgetting a BJ in the Oval Office like Clinton. This jackass did some seriously fucked up stuff. And he's still going around saying that 2020 was stolen from him. He's trash. Jeff Bezos for sure. Madonna. Definitely. Chrissy Teigen. Gary Glitter. Jennifer Lopez, owns Fox Fur Farms, shady boyfriend stuff, acts all innocent. Chris Brown. Casey Anthony. Andrew Tate. Dude is so hyper-narcissistic that he would kill someone and then demand that the victim's family thank him for it. Elon Musk. Why nobody is freaking out realizing the untapped power and resources this dude has is beyond me. Michael Vick. Without any real evidence to go on. Ellen DeGeneres. We've all heard that she's a massive cunt behind the scenes. But to be able to be like that and appear so nice and friendly on TV is some demented level mental gymnastics. Like you know exactly how to be nice and friendly. But you choose to be a complete dick. The Kardashians. R. Kelly. Neil Patrick Harris. It wasn't big news and he put out an apology for it, but something he did that really stuck with me was the Amy Winehouse meat platter he served at one of his parties. 3 months after Winehouse overdosed, he put together a meat platter that was supposed to resemble her corpse that guests should eat from. Look up the picture of the platter and you'll see what I mean. There's so many things wrong with it, it's hard to view him in anything without feeling disgust. I'm gonna break from the curve. Gwyneth Paltrow running a beauty product company that just sells essentially snake oil and promotes pseudoscience just to become an even richer millionaire. While not the worst person in this thread, it definitely comes across as evil in my book. Ellen DeGeneres. Wendy Williams. Adam Levine. ITT, James Corden, Ellen DeGeneres, various pedophile musicians. Jared Leto and that weird guy who plays the Flash. Ezra something. Imelda Marcos. I can't believe Alex Jones isn't a top comment after the hell he's put the Sandy Hook families through for ratings. Kanye West, Roman Polanski, Woody Allen, Kevin Spacey, Harvey Weinstein, Zuckerberg if he counts as a celeb. Creed Bratton. Doug Ford, Ontario Premier. Jared Leto. Howard Stern. It's not only because he's an openly racist, bigoted, and misogynistic creep. He uses people. He's a narcissist. He is envious of others' success despite his own wealth and fame. He keeps Robin only to give him the "I have a black friend" shield from criticism. I can go on and on. I remember I got a kick out of his edgy stuff on radio when I was a kid. Then I grew up. Robert Wagner. David Koch. I think most all celebs are sociopaths. Who would want that kind of attention? Paparazzi, constant autographs and lack of privacy? Yeah, I pretty much think that most celebs are completely nuts and would sell their own grandparents into slavery to enhance their careers. CEOs and actors are mostly sociopath. Jeff Bezos. Amber Heard. Jada Pinkett Smith. David Walliams, utterly ruthless, nasty, abusing psychopath. JLO. The My Pillow guy. Sorry, I don't care how fluffy that pillow is. John Legend's wife. Joel Osteen. Zuckerberg. I watched a 2-part Behind the Bastards podcast on him, and I had no idea simply how far he was willing to go to grow Facebook. Hundreds of thousands of deaths in Myanmar that he enabled and even taught the government how to do. He's taught KGB how to engage in disinformation. His platform allowed Rodrigo Duterte to rise to power. The whole 9 yards. Dude has more blood on his hands than probably any other human being on this planet right now. All because he wanted an empire and wanted it to be worldwide. Hillary Clinton. Marjorie Taylor Greene. If famous politicians count, she is the purest evil because she pushes evil thinking and values and is too fucking stupid to even begin to understand how evil she is. The worst. Elon Musk. Taylor Swift. Kim Kardashian. Faking a sex tape, popularizing selfie culture, reality TV, and her weak response to Balenciaga was pretty telling. Kyle Rittenhouse. If you want to call him a celeb, that kid feels no remorse. I've been around people who have justifiably taken a life and they admit it takes a piece of you with it even though it had to be done. He seems to be thriving off the fact that he killed people. He's fantasizing about it and I suspect he would enjoy doing it again. Taking a life, even in self-defense, shouldn't be something you look back on fondly. He is dead inside and his eyes are empty. I'm ideologically opposed to labeling people as evil, as a rule. It's hyperbolic and, ultimately harmful to public discourse. Virtual everyone has good and bad in them. Obviously not in the same quantities though. That said, among my least favorite are exploitative religious figures like Joel Osteen, Kenneth Copeland, mega church leaders and faith healers who will tell a woman her terminally cancer-stricken child will get well if only she can make the right tithe. Or a person with a potentially survivable illness that the Lord will heal them if only they put their faith in Him and not in the medicine prescribed by the doctors. Also despise other unrepentant grifters who actively undermine our society for personal gain. Like Steve Bannon, Roger Stone, Alex Jones, and Tucker Carlson. Beyoncé. Any celebrity that demonstrates unvarnished selfishness. Kanye West or Ye, or whatever he's going by now. Charlie Sheen, Shia LaBeouf, Brad Pitt, Sharon Stone. There are a great many business executives and politicians who would fall into it. But they're different from celebrities, who are famous for performances. Simply put, selfishness is the core of evil. No evil is done in this world that doesn't start from a selfish motive. If a person is too selfish to show a little courtesy to those who work service jobs, they're someone to avoid. If they're rude to people who do their little jobs, they'll be rude and backstabbing to anyone else. Never trust them in business, either, as they will backstab you in any business arrangement. Will Smith and Jada Pinkett Smith. Kanye West. Alec Baldwin seems like a real asshole. Jada Pinkett Smith. R. Kelly. Meryl Streep feigning ignorance about Weinstein really bothers me. George Clooney too. Jennifer Lawrence seems shady, not evil. Lana Del Rey the same. Chris Brown. Mitch McConnell, Lindsey Graham, Marjorie Taylor Greene. These people have dead eyes. Caitlyn Jenner. Trump. Jade Pinkett. Trump. You. Wendy Williams is a cunt. James Woods could absolutely have some sort of rape dungeon. Chris Brown. Larry Fink, the founder and CEO of BlackRock. The company basically owns large shares in most heavily influential companies. They started a system that dictates how investable a company is based on BlackRock's metrics and basically companies have to push whatever agenda they're told to or they're suddenly not investable. And their stock drops. BlackRock is the reason for things like Cuties on Netflix being so heavily promoted. Because that's what they want to normalize, not what Netflix actually thinks people want to see. They own huge shares in tech, data harvesters, and are known to have strong ties with various governments including the CCP. They're basically the real shadowy cobalt of world-running elites and a tinfoil hatter's wet dream. Oh, and the Rothschilds too. Rosie O'Donnell, she scares the daylights out of me. Donald Trump, all day, every day, pure evil incarnate. Travis Scott. Hillary Clinton. Ellen is pretty shitty. Gwyneth Paltrow, she knows exactly what she's doing. Also Dr. Oz. Chris Pratt. You guys are all shooting the low-hanging fruit. Of course Epstein, Trump, Nancy Grace, Jared Leto and R. Kelly are shitbags. Lol. Everyone knows that. I think the point of this convo is which celebrity appears to be normal but it actually just a nasty piece of work. This is the placeholder outro file. Congrats. You made it through the entire video. This segment is supposed to fill 20 to 30 seconds. So I'll keep talking a bit. Hope you enjoyed and don't forget to hit the like button, ring the bell and subscribe to the channel. Any improvement ideas? Write us at autogenlabs@gmail.com or leave a comment. Have a great day.